Is there something that you want so bad that you have not been able to achieve? If there is, I can tell you that the reason you have not been able to achieve it is because your mind is not in the right place. I'm telling you this because I know I've been there, and it happens to the best of us from time to time. But I want to share with you a story from when I just got out of high school. I had my daughter, and I knew I needed to do something. I couldn't just not do anything. I had dreams of going to college, and those dreams were shot. So I had to make do with what I had and the resources that I had at the moment. So I went and I signed up for the community college, and I started taking classes. Now, let me tell you that math is my worst subject. I hate math. It's horrible. I hate math. I hate numbers. I'm not a math person. I'm a mind person. I'm a psychology person. Everything is the mind for me. I love the way the mind functions. I love how people function. As soon as I had to enroll in algebra was actually the one that really did me. As soon as I got into that class and started realizing what it is that I had to learn, and as hard as I tried, it wasn't working. No matter what I tried, it just was not working. And the reason it was not working was because a part of me, my mind, was telling me just that. Oh, it's not going to work. I hate this class. I don't want to be here. This is miserable. Why do I need this? So all these thoughts kept going through my mind, and little did I know that that was affecting my progress. So I would still show up, but it got to a point where I was just miserable. I just couldn't take it anymore. I just didn't like it, and I just wanted out. So I dropped the class. Now, let's go back a little bit. When I was in high school, I had the opportunity to be enrolled in advanced classes. I would have taken algebra ahead of time, where I would not have had to take it in college had I done it before. But I wasn't thinking at that time the way I should have. And I didn't want to be challenged. I didn't want to deal with the numbers. I didn't want to deal with math. So I backed out of those classes. I requested to go into lower end math. And that was the worst thing I could have done. But now going forward again, I ended up dropping out of the community college because I didn't want to deal with the math classes. I'm telling you this story because fast forward to 2010. This was back in 1991. Now fast forward to 2010, after going through all the crap that I went through of trying to grow further than where I was in the workplace, and being limited because I didn't have my degree. These were challenges I faced in the real world. I was limited on salary. I was capped out. I was capped out on growth. These things affected my life, and I endured struggle after struggle, paycheck to paycheck. I lived because of something that I could have changed way back when. But moving forward, I knew that I had to do something. I couldn't stay where I was. I couldn't keep going like this. So I finally was able to acquire the credits that I needed to acquire. And I came to North Carolina from Florida, and my credits didn't transfer. That was the next challenge. And the community college wouldn't take my classes. And after I had passed the math classes and I had overcome all that, they told me that they wouldn't transfer. And I said, oh, there is no way in hell I'm going to repeat all this again. So 5 years later, I attempt again. A friend of mine says, why don't you try the university? They may be able to take your credits. And I said, well, if the community college didn't take my credits, what makes you think the university will? So I stopped for a minute, and I quickly changed my mindset and said to myself, Sandra, you have two options. You either keep going down this miserable road and subjecting yourself to an employer who's taking advantage of you and using you and underpaying you, or you go see what happens and see what the university has to say. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I did, and that was the best day of my life. I got into the university, but here's the kicker. I had to redo the math classes. I had to redo the math classes. That's the only thing I had to do. For some reason, they love math, and they make you go through algebra, and they make you go through 50 million math classes before you can get to the real classes. So I had to go through that all. I had to endure that struggle, and I did it. I aced all my math classes and I pushed through. And that is because I had a different mentality. I had a different mindset. I knew that the life I had before is not what I wanted to keep reliving. I knew that there was more to me. I knew there was more to life than the struggle that I had endured. And nothing was going to stop me from pushing forward. And I knew that I needed to be in control of my life, not letting somebody control it. So having that piece of paper, unfortunately, at that moment in time, I felt is what I needed to do. And I won't say unfortunately, because it was fortunate. I still use my degree, and it's a blessing because I've learned so much. But not being at the mercy of an employer is refreshing. It's the reward that I achieved. And so I ended up graduating with flying colors, and I did it. I passed the math classes, and the next challenge I had, wait a minute, one more challenge. The next challenge I had was research methods. And that was a tough one. I had failed the first class, or I backed out of it and accepted the F, and then I retook it. And I knew that was the one class. After getting through math, I thought that was it. But it wasn't. This was the next one I had to take that would challenge me and say, I thought I was halfway there. But this one really put me on a spot and it got me thinking, if I don't get past this class, I'm never going to graduate. I didn't come this far to quit or give up. So I pushed through, and guess what? I got an A in that damn class. It was crazy. I aced the research method class. I aced my math classes, and that is because I changed my mindset. I changed the way I thought and the words I spoke. I pictured myself walking that stage with the degree in my hand, saying, this is it. This is the life. Finally, I did it. And for me, it's a big deal. For some people, graduating with your undergrad is not that big of a deal, but for me, with everything that I have been through, it is a big deal. And it meant so much more to me than it would to the typical graduate, because of everything that I have endured to get here. So my point is, mindset plays a big role in every circumstance that you encounter. So be conscious about what you're thinking and what you're speaking and what you're telling yourself. Changing that story in your head will change your life. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and share it with someone who could use the inspiration. You never know who might be needing it today. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos to come.